All right, so following on from that, I think now it's only right to discuss the Kyrie Irving situation and what that prick's been up to for the last 2 weeks.
You guys go first, because I just don't know.
Okay, my take on it is, I see he's getting a lot of hate for it. People like Stephen A. Smith telling him he needs to retire and shit like that because he's saying he doesn't feel
yeah,
like playing
basketball. I see that. I was like, bro, shut up.
He doesn't need to. What I think it is, I think he's going through like a mental health situation. That's what I think. I think it's always like Kanye West vibes, because like I think he's got to that point where like he's obviously with everything going on in America as well, with the entire like the protests and shit like that.
Yeah, he's taking quite a political stance on
it. Yeah, and he's quite a really really deep guy. Like he talks about a lot of in-depth stuff and stuff like that. So I think he's just got like some mental health issues going on right now, where he doesn't necessarily feels like he's in the right mental capacity to play basketball. And I think like he's on his Kanye West shit where he's just doing fucking dumb stuff just because he's not mentally capable to do what he loves doing. So he started doing like dumb shit.
It's always been like all eyes on him as well. Yeah, like I say, you can't necessarily. I think this is the thing as well. I think you can't necessarily, whilst he is a top player and you do want to see him play, you can't necessarily dismiss him for the sake of having a poor mental health and for being quite strong about social injustice. Obviously, people feel like he should do that alongside what he's doing, but I feel like, and like we were saying earlier with him, he likes to be. Do you know what I mean? He likes being the big man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think he probably thinks he's he thinks he's probably going to be at a deficit. And like I said, it could also be to do with the new team. Like maybe there's been argument, maybe, is he not getting on with KD or something? I think I heard, but
I think it's more he's not getting along with the coaching staff or the backroom staff. If that's the case, that's just my opinion. But because
he has made some really sly comments. Like, did you? Because essentially, so if you really think about it, him and KD sort of hired Steve Nash to be the coach.
Yeah, they said
that's like you can't exactly. Steve Nash can't exactly control them because they feel as though they got him his role. So it's like I don't think Steve Nash can necessarily control them now.
That's what I said earlier on. I don't think Steve Nash was a good selection for.
Yeah, so that's why I think Kyrie can just like he thinks he can just do whatever the fuck he wants now. He can go not show up for practice, not show up for games, not give the coach any sort of thing because he feels like he's above the coach. That's
definitely. I agree with both of what you guys have said. And if it is like a mental health sort of situation, then obviously then he needs to go sort that out. And I've got no problems with him doing that. My only issue with the situation is that basketball is his job. If all of us have jobs right now. Obviously, at the minute, I'm not working due to the current lockdown, but you two are both working right now. So if you guys just didn't contact your employer and just didn't show up because you were having mental health issues, your boss has the right. Not that you have to share that you're having mental health problems, but he never told anyone in the organisation that he was taking time off. He just did it. The only reason they knew he was taking personal time was because I think it was he texted John J. Jordan or KD. It was one of those two. I can't remember which one.
Saying he's not showing up today.
That's like his employer.
30 minutes before the game.
Yeah, and it's like that they're your employer. Like, and I think that fine. Then the reason I agree with the fact that with Stephen A's comment and he should retire is because basketball is clearly not his main focus, and basketball is your job. Why, if you're not doing your job, but you still want your $33 million a year? It's like, no, that's not how it works. If you're not going to do your job, you know what? Oh, your paycheck might go missing that week. It's like, I'm not paying you if you're not doing your job. That's how the world works.
But that's what I mean. Like, he forfeited $800K.
That wasn't his choice, though. He had to.
No, that's not up to him. But I'm saying, obviously the game's missed. I'm saying, like, obviously he's already.
It's only that much. He's lucky. It's only that much. I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. He's going to feel that a lot more than he's feeling the 50K fine. The 50K fine.
Yeah, definitely. But I agree. Kyrie is an amazing person. Like, he does loads of stuff for the social injustice stuff that's going on in America right now. He does a lot of charitable donations for all sorts of
different also, I think
there's a lot for people.
It's good, but then you think who's the biggest player that you know is also very vocal about social injustice and is also very very good. I think LeBron James.
Yeah, but LeBron James is playing every game.
This is what I mean. Like, look at him, and he's always been like that. He's always wanted to be putting people on. Do you know?
He's a goal on and off the court. He's like
he's just role model. And the thing as well is to make the social injustice thing really, really prominent for him and really show that he's doing all that he can to make this this awful thing that's going on. Stop. Do it while you're playing basketball, where all the cameras are on you. Millions of people are watching the games from all over the world.
Without breaking COVID restrictions and stuff.
Exactly. Going to your sister's birthday party without a mask, like, to me, that just shows that you just don't care about basketball. And I think with Stephen A's comment saying that, he should retire, Stephen A didn't mean you should never play basketball again. You should retire. Do your stuff for your social injustice groups, your charitable donations, do all of that great stuff, and then come back when basketball can be your number one priority. Because the thing, and it's not, to be fair, it's not just Kyrie that's done this. George Hill made a comment as well, saying that, I'm going to go see my family, blah, 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 like, I'm a man, no one can stop me doing this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're saying all this stuff like, if we shouldn't play, if it's COVID is that bad, we shouldn't play. Not one person has said, you know what, keep my salary then, because this is your job. Like all of us, like, yes, they're big in the media, but they're thinking they're above everyone else. They're all thought, these frontline workers are all amazing, blah, blah, blah. These frontline workers are doing, and I know it's a little bit different, but basketball players and all sport and athletes right now are classed as essential workers because they're working during the pandemic. So they are classed as essential workers, as much as I disagree with that term, using athletes as essential workers, but they are.
I think what they provide more so is the fact that if you are going to be locked down, if the rest of us are going to be us commoners, do you know what I mean? Then we've got some in there. But I agree and disagree, because I don't think it's a matter of them necessarily thinking they're above everyone. I think it's them not considering as much the influence they have, because this is what normal people are doing. A normal person going to turn around and be like, but it's my mum's birthday, I want to go see my mum or my sister, But when you're in that position where, especially Kyrie Irving, because he is such a star player, like, he's a fucking all-star player, like, you've got so many eyes on him, you need to be more responsible when you are in such a public
he's definitely
role.
been very irresponsible. And to be fair, all of this situation, I think, wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is if he just called up the Nets organisation, like, even if it was a Steve Nash or Sean Marks or even someone else in the backroom staff. Don't talk about Steve like that. But if he just given them a call or even a text and say, look, I'm taking some personal time, like, you don't even need to discuss what it is, because obviously, if as Jabed said, it may be a mental health issue. If it is, you don't need to disclose that information. He has the right to keep that private. If it's something personal going on with him, he has the right to keep that private. But you need to tell your employer that. Do you just go missing? Like, it's the same thing. Like, if you think about it, like, shoot around, like, practices, media obligations, and games are their shifts, their shift patterns. Obviously, our shift patterns we are more 9 to 5 sort of people, because we're not, athletes. We have to work that sort of time, and that's just our role in life, and that's fine. We seem to all be having good, comfortable lives at the minute. But his 9 to 5, if you will, is his shift. His shift is, I've got a game I've got to be at the arena for 6 p.m. Like, that's your shift. That's when your shift starts, and your shift ends when you've done your last media obligation. That is your shift. If you don't show up for your shift, you shouldn't be paid for those hours. I definitely think that. I think he owes the Nets organisation a public apology. I think he needs to come out on his social media or something, or if it's with a media interview, and he needs to apologise to them, not for the fact that he's gone missing, on the fact, because he's entitled to do what he wants to do. He's an adult. He needs to apologise, one, for breaking the COVID rules, because if he'd done that and then that goes to his sister's birthday party, and then the next day goes, you know what, I'll be a basketball player again, then just turns up at the arena, and if he tests positive, he's testing positive. Everyone he interacts with in that organisation, and they've done nothing to deserve that. They're just doing their jobs.
Yeah, and we've already had a few games postponed recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it Detroit had someone test positive, or am I mistaken?
Everyone, I think, has. Even, did you see Steph Curry got a positive test mid-game last week? I think it was.
Mid-game? Oh, damn.
It was mid-game. He was on the bench. He wasn't playing in the game, but he was on the bench. And, literally, you could see him on the bench, and then, at some point in the bench, he just goes missing. It found out that he had a positive test. That's why, do you remember the 76ers had that game where they had 7 players? Yeah, it was because of that, because he'd been with people for more than 15 minutes without a mask, with that many people, so they had to isolate. And I think it's just incredibly selfish for what Kyrie's done. It's a Kawhi for Kyrie's done, and I think as well he also needs to apologise to the Nets organisation for not telling them his plans, because they're your employer. They pay your salary. You don't pay your own salary. You're not self-employed. You are employed. You're an employee of the Brooklyn Nets. And it's like, what gives you the right to go off and do whatever? And everyone else then has to work. And it's like, there are people there that, you know, tape your ankles. There are people there that give you your massage when you need one. There are people there that, you know, rebound for you when you just want to get some extra shots up. There's people, you know, that he probably will rarely meet that do the media, like the online stuff, the players that do the obviously not necessarily right now, but do the basketball camps for the kids of the organisations. Like all those people, what gives you the right, just because you're earning, you know, 10 times what they earn, what gives you the right to just be like, you know what, I don't fancy going to work today?
It's a fair point.